What's up, everybody? How are you tonight? Can you hear me? Can you see me well? Can you hear me and can you see me well? If you can, type a one in the chat if you are ready for this live. Let me know. I see Florida in the house, New York in the house, South Carolina, VA. I mean, y'all in here tonight and you're spending time with me on a holiday weekend. I am so grateful. Oh, weekend. Y'all know what I'm saying. Night before Thanksgiving. So thank you for coming in tonight. We're going to go ahead and get right to it. You know why you're here. You are here because you are looking to learn how to execute flawless natural hairstyles and techniques to level up your skills in your business. You're trying to take it to the next level. So if you are here for that, this is the webinar for you. Let's get it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. My reason for holding this webinar tonight is I decided to really speak to a lot of stylists and potential stylists because a lot of stylists come and ask me, how do I get that execution, that precision, that detail in my braids and my locks and my twists? And because of that, I decided to go ahead and host this webinar so I can give you some of those tips and those tools so we can get to the next level together. So who is this webinar for? You might be able to say, this is me. So if you are a natural hairstylist and you don't have consistent clientele and you want to be able to support yourself and your family as a stylist, this is for you. If you are a cosmetologist wanting to sharpen your skills, this is also for you. A lot of cosmetologists find that they need to transition because their clients are wanting to transition and they don't want to lose that clientele, right? If you are working a 9 to 5, but you have always had a passion to do natural hair and you really just feel like it's time for you to make that transition to leave this 9 to 5, this is for you as well. And maybe you may just be a mother who wants to do your children's hair and you want to save some money and maybe you just want to, make some extra money on the side as well. So I want you all to stay tuned. You may even be new to natural hair and just want to figure out if this is something that's up your alley. So stay tuned. You are in the right place. And because you're here, I'm going to show you how you or anyone can turn their passion for natural hairstyling into a profitable profession. So today I am going to teach you how to become an in-demand, okay? Not just any average stylist, but an in-demand stylist. There's a difference, right? An in-demand and successful natural hairstylist. I'm going to show you how you can execute these proper techniques so you can go out and really build your business with confidence, right? No fear over here. Even if you have never been taught the proper techniques before, the reality is that there is no formal training for natural hairstylists. And you can go to YouTube, but the reality is there's a sea of people who are just talking about any and everything. And we all know, I mean, I've had clients come in and say, oh yeah, I watched on YouTube, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. I'm like, what? No, don't do that. Whether it's black gel or so, there's a lot of incredible information on YouTube. And again, cosmetology schools do not teach the precision, the techniques. And so it's like, well, where am I going to get this from? So this is going to work for you if that's you. It's also going to work for you if you lack the confidence. Why? Because I know what's going to help build your confidence. Let's just say that, right? So what does it look like to not have confidence? Some of it could be that you will fear attempting new styles, that you second guess yourself, like, I don't know. Sometimes a client might bring a picture in and you don't really know if you could execute it, so you don't really want to touch that. You also may not want to post your work. Somebody say that might be me. And so if you have a fear of posting your work, it just shows that there's a lack of confidence. And so we want to get past that. And you also may have an inability to charge what you are worth, right? And ultimately, you're just not making the money that you desire when you lack confidence. So it's going to work for you regardless. It's going to work for you also if you don't have the consistent clientele. You may work a 9 to 5 and it may be frustrating because you want to become a full-time stylist. You over it, right? You tired of clocking in, knowing that it does not resonate with who you are, right? And so if that is the case, and you want to be financially stable, doing something that you love, this is going to work for you as well. But even if you're not fully booked, we're going to help you get booked. So we're going to go through a step-by-step on how to become an in-demand natural hairstylist. So I just want you to tell me something. Tell me, would you like for your books to look like this? Now, this is a real screenshot of stylists that work in my salon. It's 3 of them, and this is all their books for next week. And every stylist in my salon I have trained. They have went through the academy. They have, went up and through the ranks, and they some of them came knowing nothing. You hear what I'm saying? And now they are completely booked. So I think that if this is what you want to do, like we're not going to be doing it on the low end. Like we come to dominate, right? So if you stick around to the end, I will show you how you can have the same type of success for yourself and for your business. Somebody say, I want the same type of success. So I got a recipe for y'all. And there's a very good chance that with this recipe, it may not taste exactly like mine, but you're going to put your own twist on it, right? So anytime you do a hairstyle, you don't really want to completely like replicate it like somebody else. You want to put your own twist on it. So I'm going to give you the recipe, but I want you to spice it up, right? All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll be talking and I'll be like, I'm thirsty. So let's start with my primary goal for you today, which is to prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt that every single person on here can do 3 things. Uno, dos, and tres. You can do these 3 things. Number 1 is that you can part with precision. Somebody say I can part with precision. See, this is the thing. You have to affirm yourself. You have to say, I can do it. And so I can precision part. I can execute with braid integrity. And you might say, okay, what is braid integrity? That's just making stuff up. No, I'm not. When we think about the word integrity, it talks about being one and being whole. And so when we look at braids that are very high quality, it's the consistency and it's the integrity of the braid. So that's what braid integrity is. And then also too, the third one is to flawlessly flat twist. So if you want to be able to do those things is what we're going to talk about today. And we're not doing this just to do it. We're doing it because we want to become well paid and highly celebrated and recognized stylists, right? All right. So I'm going to show you step by step. Let me say step by step, how to master these 3 techniques in a short amount of time. Let's get it. It's going to be in record time. And you should be able to implement these skills and techniques no matter what level you are, or even the experience that you had. We teach a lot of hands-on classes, and I'm telling you, it's just one little tweak, and it's just like a light bulb goes off in somebody's head. It's like, oh, I get it now. But let me ask you, why is this important to you now? Well, let's talk about the truth. The reality is that there are a lot of changes, even in legislation, and even when it comes to government. So you know that there has been discrimination towards natural hair. There was a point in time where Black women could not wear their hair any kind of way that they saw fit. Like it had to be in a conformed, straight manner, because they could potentially be penalized. Well, now the law has been passed, which is the Crown Act, which pretty much opens up the doors for professional women to go into their jobs and wear their hair however they please, whether it's braids, it's locks, it's twists. And so somebody needs to say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Another reason why this is important is because we know that chemical styling um, poses many health risks. And so, even as a hairstylist for over 20 years, there were so many women that started to transition, not necessarily because they wanted to, but because they had to, right? They may have had some medical conditions that really made it it was more of a risk for them to wear their hair in any type of chemically processed way. And because of that, there are droves of women that are choosing their health, right? As it pertains to their hair and other areas as well. So, this is another reason why it's very important for you. So, the demand for natural hairstyling is increasing. Somebody say it's going up. Somebody said it's up. now so with that being said, it just means that there is a booming industry, and that means that guess what, there's room for you. Somebody say my gift will make room for me. So let me break down these into training three training phases. The agenda for this training, again, we're going to go over precision parting. So precise parts set the foundation for flawless natural hairstyles. It is essential that your parts are excellent. We always, as we do whatever we do, we always want to make sure that we are concentrating and executing with excellence. And I'm also going to show you step by step how to part with speed and with ease to set yourself up to create the masterpieces that you've seen on Instagram and on magazine covers. In phase two, we're going to go over braid integrity. Now, I just explained what braid integrity is, but let me just give you a further definition. And it really speaks to the neatness of your braids. How neat are your braids? Y'all don't understand. Two people could do the same hairstyle, but the quality of neatness is what's going to make that distinction, right? That's going to determine whether you're going to have like a returning client or a client that's just like, I don't know, it's just not as neat as I'd like to be. So we have to have that braid integrity. And so we're going to dive deep into the proper technique and also kind of talk about tension and why tension is really important, because we don't want to be hurting our clients, right? And also too, thinking about it from a standpoint of, we also don't want to hurt ourselves. And when we don't have the proper tension, what it does is it actually makes our hands lock up, and that's how we start to experience carpal tunnel. And I can say for myself, I did hair for over 20 years, and in that time of doing hair, I my hands were always good. I only had one time where my hands really started to hurt, and that was during that time when I was trying to prove myself to the world. And you might think to yourself, like, Essence, what are you talking about? You're trying to prove yourself. Well, probably in the early 2000s, I used to be able to grip like really, really short hair, really short hair. I mean, they could be growing their hair for all of 2 weeks almost, and I could braid it, right? And so when I was doing that, it caused me to do a technique that made me twist my fingers in a particular way. And when I did that, over time, that motion was hurting my wrist, and I realized that technique was not good for my hands, and I can no longer be trying to prove myself to people, or even to myself. And so I had to stop that technique. And so that's why the proper technique of braiding is beyond important. It speaks to how good your braids look, but it also speaks to how long you're going to be able to be in this industry and make money, right? So phase three is going to be the flawless flat twist. Your twist need to lay like cornrows. From afar, a person shouldn't even be able to tell whether is that a cornrow or is that a flat twist. Like I can't even tell. And so when you have that level of definition, when you have that level of precision, when you have that level of creativity, you're going to have like the flawlessness that I'm speaking about, the flawlessness. So in total, it's probably going to take me, I don't know how long it's going to take me, But I'm gonna try not to keep y'all too long, just because I know Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and I'm sure you're with your family. Um, so 90 minutes, 30 minutes, we'll see how long it's gonna take. But just hold on with me. So as far as my qualifications, who is Essence China? When it comes to teaching this topic, some of you maybe have never heard of me, and some of you may have heard of my story. But either way it goes, I'm going to try to keep it on the short side. So let's get into it. My name is Essence China, and that is my real name. My mother was very creative, and I thank God for that. And so she named me Essence China. I grew up as China my whole life. And I started doing hair very early. I realized that I had the gift, I mean, like around 12, and I started, just playing around with hair. And I became a natural hairstylist. I was natural hairstylist for 20 years. Own natural hair salons here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a business coach. I'm a confidence coach. I train hairstylists. I do it all, right? I do it all. And so let me give you a little bit more information for those of you who've never heard about me. I changed the law, and in 2003, in the state of Arizona, you had to have a license to do any and all types of hair, right? And so at that time, I thought it was unfair for me to have to go get a license for something that I already knew how to do. Plus, they did not teach or test on it. And so I challenged the State Board of Cosmetology in 2003. And I'm going to play a little clip just so you can kind of get a little more insight. So if we can go ahead and roll that clip real quick.
Does so much more than style hair. She made history.
Arizona native and accomplished stylist Essence Farmer has been braiding hair since the age of 12.
I think a lot of Black women just got to a place where they wanted to embrace their natural and authentic selves and their own beauty, because we've always been shown another standard.
Her iconic hair design featured in Essence magazine and in the National Museum of African American History in Washington, D.C.
Whatever flows out of you, you give to your client, and your client's able to just be able to wear it as almost a piece of art.
But it wasn't always easy for her to be that artist. Arizona law made it difficult to open up her own hair braiding salon.
They told me I had to have a license.
At the time, Arizona's Board of Cosmetology required 1,600 hours of classroom instruction, even though not a single hour of natural hair braiding instruction was included in the program.
I took up issue with it because the things that I did, which was braids, locks, twists, they didn't teach nor did they test on it.
And at a cost of at least $10,000.
All that time that I would have spent going to cosmetology school and the money, to me, just didn't make sense.
So at just 23 years old, and with the help of the Institute for Justice, she challenged Arizona's cosmetology licensing laws, arguing they stifled job opportunities and suppressed a vibrant expression of culture.
It's just a lack of inclusiveness because of ignorance. If you don't have to really think about other people and include other people, you probably won't even, make concessions.
In April of 2004, then Governor Janet Napolitano signed Senate Bill 1159 into law, allowing all natural braiders to practice their art without the hurdles.
I realized I made history.
Essence now travels the world teaching and speaking on how to be successful in the hair braiding industry.
It's crazy to know that I've actually standard.
Her icon.
It's just a quick little clip of the history that God allowed me to make, and I'm super grateful for that. And so, if you have heard anything about my story, you also may know that my hairstyle was actually on the cover of Essence magazine, and my salon was also featured in Essence magazine. And you can go back for a second. No, you good. And so this particular style went viral. It was like one of the first natural hairstyles to ever go viral. It was all over. So some of you, if you've seen this hairstyle, you've already seen my work. You may be acquainted with my work before you were ever acquainted with who I am. And so crazy story with that particular hairstyle is that this model right here, she's my friend, and I brought her in to do a photo shoot for my salon. This was my first professional shoot. And I remember speaking it into existence without me even actually knowing I was speaking it into existence. And I was telling her, I was like, girl, you never know, you might be in Essence one day. just speaking it, right? And so that's why you have to understand the power of your words. And next thing I know, the photographer who I worked with told me, he was like, guess what? Essence picked up your work. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know they knew. Like they were shopping, like they knew about my work. And so it's just crazy how when you make, the right connections and the timing is right and you invest in yourself, how things can really happen for you. And I believe it's something that can happen for every hairstylist. If you really have the passion, I always say, if you have a passion, you truly have the potential. So if you're on this live, I don't care where your braiding skills are at, you have the potential. Even if you feel like, oh, I didn't grow up braiding hair, or I don't feel like a natural born braider. It doesn't matter. If you have the passion, you have the potential. All right, so we can keep moving. Thank you. So for being a hairstylist, I've been an entrepreneur pretty much all of my life. As I told you, I started doing hair very early, and it's afforded me a life that I'm beyond blessed to have. And so, even though I've been able to, uh, do those things, I realized that there were so many people who did not necessarily know how to do what I knew how to do, and so that's what made me want to teach. But there's a level of freedom that comes from not just doing hair, but doing something that you actually love, something that you're actually aligned with. I remember one time I had went to Jamaica, and I was it was a birthday trip. And so I go to Jamaica and I'm with a friend, and she somehow or another told a guy that was like a local there, that I did hair. And he looked at me, he's like, you do hair? And next thing I know, he like went away and came back with a comb. And I was just like, oh, you want me to do your hair? Well, because I had the love for it, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Because I loved it so much, it didn't even matter that I was like on vacation, because I already know I'm a quick braider. I can get his hair done in like 30, 40 minutes and be done. But because I loved it so much, because I was aligned with it, it's like when you do things that you love and you're aligned with, it doesn't feel like work. It just didn't feel like work. And so I had no problem with doing his hair. And so, but freedom, right? The freedom to travel, the freedom to do the things that you want to do. So freedom, and even sometimes freedom to wake up now. There's a freedom to wake up, but at the same time, you know that your client, even though you don't have a boss as a hairstylist, so to speak, your clients are your boss in the sense that they can fire you. But you still have a freedom because you have the money. You don't have to think about, oh, do I have enough to make this to buy this outfit, or to go on this trip, or to buy this food. Like there's a level of freedom, because when you really get competent and confident in what you're doing, you're going to be highly compensated, right? You're going to be able to charge your worth, right? So the ability to provide even substantially for like my family members and friends, and even the causes that I believe in, this this lifestyle afforded me that. And I think that sometimes people think that being a hairstylist, it's inconsistent, or it's not something that I can necessarily depend on. And let me just go ahead and tell you that's a lie. Like there are people who are willing and ready and will be so loyal to you, right? Once you know what you're doing. So now that you know a little bit about me, a little bit about what my background, I just want to know, is this what you feel like you may need? Do you feel like this is the training that you may need for yourself? Do you feel like this is going to be useful and relevant to you? Will this be useful and relevant to you? I'm waiting for some comments, and see if we can get some. It is going to be useful and relevant. Yes. Yes, Lord, for the rest of our day. Yes. All right, so we got some yeses up in there. All right, so if you have tried braiding your friend's hair, your family member's hair, but you have no idea what the proper techniques are, or you have a clue, but it ain't hitting, like something's off. I don't know what's off. And you want to see the detail on how I can execute flawless natural hairstyles, then this is for you. If you have never been taught through cosmetology school, but you want to learn the proper natural hairstyling techniques, this is also for you. And if you're unsure about your career path and you ready to get out of this rat race, you're just tired, right? You're just tired. And honestly, it's like we understand that there's a path that we're told is right. There's a path that says go to school, get in debt, get a job, and pay them back. And the next thing you know, you look up and that's your whole life. And you realize, dang, I never did what I actually was in my heart. I never did the thing that I actually wanted to do. This is for you. Okay. This just is for you. And if you lack confidence or you feel like you're introverted, I hear that a lot. I feel like I'm an introvert and I don't really know if I can do it, or I don't know how to connect with my clients. And this is still going to work for you. Like if you're scared of posting your work, listen, all of it is going to be for you. So this is especially relevant to you, and we're going to solve that problem once and for all. Somebody say hallelujah. Hold up, bring me back, take me back. Okay, if you have a cash flow problem in your personal life and in your business, and if you'd like to learn a skill set that you can increase your income and support yourself and your family, then this is for you. And finally, if you're a cosmetologist, a natural hairstylist, an entrepreneur, a college graduate, working professional, a stay-at-home mom, parent, listen, again, if you have the passion, you have the potential. This is for you. So this session is going to help you do exactly that. All right. So we got to clean house real quick. I love everybody. I really do. But I don't want to waste your time. And I really want you to understand that in anything, like, you have to put in the work. It's one thing to know a thing and it's another thing to do a thing. And so I think that we can get the skills and we can still be like self-sabotaging and self-defeated because we don't put in the work, right? So regardless of what I teach you today, it's a personal decision, a personal commitment to ourselves that I'm willing to do the work. Like, anything that's going to be worth having is going to require some work. And so what I'm even going to like share with you today, it took me years to find out. I didn't necessarily have anybody to teach me formally. I had to figure it out. And the reason why I had to figure it out is because I'm going to tell you in a second. Let me just hold that. We're going to hold that. But I want to give you the shortcut. I don't want you to have to spend the time that I had to spend and go through, quote unquote, the disappointments of clients walking out the door because they brought me a hairstyle that I didn't know how to accomplish. I didn't know how to execute. So if you are not willing to put in the work and the time, I'm sorry, this ain't for you. But if you're willing to bet on yourself and invest in yourself and put in the work and time, you're gonna kill it. Because I believe that like students should outshine and outgrow the master at some point. Like, it's time to take it higher. It's time to take it higher. So if you're still with me after that little rant, let's get to it. Please, let's get to it. Let's get to it, please. So, how to execute 3 in-demand natural hairstyling techniques that will take your skills to a whole nother level and position you to pursue a career as a full-time natural hairstylist. These are the 3 in-demand techniques. The first thing I need you to know is that it's easy. You might be like, Essence is easy? But if I give you everything, it should be easy. Anybody can do it. So once you know the process and you have the passion, let me stay right there for a second. See, because sometimes people are just doing things that they can do just because they just want to go, I don't know, just go do it for a second or whatever. But it's like, no, I want you to have the passion. I honestly don't even want no hairstylist that wants to do my hair. She ain't got the passion. I need you to love this, right? So just understand that once you have those 2 things, the process and the passion, I'm giving you that blueprint, right? All you got to do is repeat it. Because the thing is, we can learn the wrong things and practice them over and over again, and we still will get wrong results. I've been like, I can't tell you how many stylists have come to my hands-on training and said, I've been braiding for 10 years. I've been braiding for 15 years, but their braids just don't have the results. They don't have the execution or the detail. And it was just a tweak that changed their life, a tweak that changed their week. I'm silly. All right. So let's get to it. Now, don't laugh at this picture. That is really me. That is me. And if you can see that I was the same technique I told you when my fingers was hurting, that's the technique right there. I was doing this pinch. I know you can't even see because like my smock that I had on and his hair is kind of blending. So you can't really see how short his hair is, but it was peach fuzz. Listen, it was so short. and my fingers was cramped. Y'all hear me? It was cramped, but I was making it work. I'm like, yeah, I can braid your hair. I don't care how short it is. But at this time in my life, I I didn't have it all figured out. I was still learning. I was still trying to figure things out. But things change when I figured it out. Now these pictures here, y'all, this was before the picture I just showed you. These pictures are from somebody say the 90s. This is from the 90s. This is my first business card. And I'm not even proud of this business card because that thing, never nappy, China braider, ghetto fab. Why did I want to be ghetto fabulous? Like where did I get that from? I was just being influenced. I was a follower, y'all. I don't even know. Get up for real. She can do braids like, well, y'all remember that song? Well, I might be too old. So you may not even know that reference, but she can do braids like, whoa. And to really date this card, to really date it, does anybody see the page number? I didn't even have a cell phone. I'm about to spin around on that one real quick. Listen, y'all, I had a page number. So this is let me say back in the day. So the picture below the business card is me braiding hair out of my childhood laundry room. I got 2 clients in the wing. You know, so I had a little waiting area over there. I had a client's head that I was working on, and I'm just parting it out. And that was my mother. She allowed me to turn our laundry room into a salon. So the other side of the picture is you see the washer and dryer. So all of my products are in this little bin right here. I got my combs. I had the blue magic. If you could look real hard, you see the blue magic in the back. I mean, I was getting it in, and I had clientele, but I still did not have like all the techniques in my tool belt. I was still trying to figure it out. So I say that to say that I was very much in the same situation that you were in. Like I had the passion, and I even had some clients that love for me to do their hair, but I kept remember seeing Allen Iverson and seeing Carmelo Anthony, and they would bring me these hairstyles, and I'd be looking, listen, like I was looking at a puzzle, like I don't know what to do with this. How am I figure this out? And so those things drove me to try to figure out what do I need to do. And so this is what I want to give to you so you can just shorten that curve real quick. I just want to give you that. So if you ever felt that that this is you and you're in this situation, just know it's not your fault. It's really not your fault. The skill set has not been formally taught. Obviously, cosmetology schools do not have a curriculum. And even if they do teach braiding, it's not necessarily like, you know, like what you really need to be successful and be equipped as a natural hairstylist. They just don't teach it. So don't worry, it ain't your fault. There's a lot of people in this situation. Some people it was passed down in their blood, but there's other people who they're like they need to know the tools and the tips. And so I will say that once I learned this set of skills, everything changed. I was able to be a full-time stylist, support myself, and then also teach other stylists and build my team and all of that. So everything changed when I got the techniques. So let's get down to business. I want to teach you a few things. I want to show you how it's done. This is going to take up a little bit more of this webinar today. I would recommend that if you have a paper and pen, I might say something that'll just drop in your mind, like that's it, you know. If you have a paper pen, you can take some notes. But I want everybody to take a look at this picture right here, and I want everybody to drop in the chat. Now I know that there's a lock style, there's a flat twist style, there's a braided style. You know, there's a variation of styles. But I want you all to give me a 1 or 2 words of what is similar about these styles. Like if you were to point out the similarity in these styles, just tell me if you see what I see. What is the similarity in these hairstyles right here? We got to keep it interactive. And I know I got some very educated and brilliant stylists and future stylists on here. Parting is clean, neat parts. Okay, so it's the parts. It's intricate. Okay, the intricacies. Okay. What else we got on here? Clean parts, clean for everybody saying it's the parts, the intricacies, the updos. Updo the party. Okay. All right. So what I really want you to understand is that when you break down every amazing, creative, natural hairstyle, the consistency, that's a good word right there. It's the precision. It's the but really we got to get down to the basics. And the thing is, I think a lot of times stylists they want to get to the intricacies, which is great and what we need. But the foundation of every style is a braid. The foundation of every style is a part. The foundation of every style is a flat twist. If we can master the techniques, the foundation, the basics, we can build from that. It's called building blocks. And what I find sometimes is the styles, they want to get straight to the updo. And it's like, girl, them parts though. Let's get these parts right, right? And that's no shade. That's just to say that no, when you master that, that's what's gonna have clients coming back like crazy. Because it's like, I don't care almost how simple the style is, but if it's clean, if it's intricate, like if it's so neat and there's so much integrity in it, people want cleanness probably even before creativity. I rather something looks super clean and super neat than to be a whole bunch of mess. Right? Got stars over here, circles over there. I just can it be neat? All right, so now we understand the foundation of every style is a clean part, a clean braid, and also a bomb flat twist if we're doing flat twists. Then we're on the same page. We are on the same page. So again, we talked about the precise parts, we talked about the braid integrity, and we also talked about the flat twist. And so I am going to, you can go to the next one. So again, precise parts. When we look at this picture right here, one of the things I like to highlight is the comb. So when we're talking about parting, stylists don't really understand that as much as it is the technique, it's also the tool. It's the technique and it's the tool. What tool are you using? And so we know that we can go buy a rat tail comb, from any dollar store, but it's like if you have the right tool, it's going to afford you to be able to part with speed and with ease. And what I find is a lot of hairstylists, they're using the wrong tools. The tools are taking too much time, and then they're not able to take as many clients within a day. So they're not making even the amount of money that they can make. Your tools also equate to your time. And so if we can get the right tools, right, it's going to really change the game for you. So what are the characteristics of the right tool for a comb? So I don't know if we look at this comb right here, I don't know if we can get that, but if we can, it's all. Oh, they said they can't hear me. Mic is out. I'm gonna keep talking. Y'all let me know. Hello, hello, hello. It's better. Y'all let me know it's better over here. We good? All right, just let me know. Okay. All right. I don't want to lose y'all though. I don't want to lose y'all. So what was the last thing you heard about the comb? So the comb is highly important. And so it needs to be durable enough. And I was just saying that I don't know how to plug my own products. I'm just really saying this to understand that every comb is not going to necessarily be as durable, and it's not going to give you necessarily the sharpness that you need. And if you're parting over and over and over again, it's taking too much time, entirely too much time. So we're going to get into the parting. In phase 2, we are going to get to the braid integrity, and I'm going to really talk more so about your body positioning. We don't understand how important some of the things have nothing almost to do with our fingers, but have to do with our shoulders, have to do with where we're standing. How all of that is very vital and important. And so you have to understand like how like your body positioning and all that plays into how neat your braid is. Okay. But once you learn these techniques, you're going to increase your speed and quality of your styles. And plus, you're going to lower the risk. And then the last thing is the flawless flat twist. And I'm going to bring a mannequin on in a second. Not nothing about the comb. Okay, let's go back to the comb. The comb, your tool is just as important as your technique. And the comb needs to be very durable, right? And so, like, if you have a comb and it ain't making this noise, can you hear that? If it's not making that noise, it's letting you know that it's a flimsy comb. And so the reason why it's important for the comb is because you need to be able to have control. And I'm going to go over that when I get on the mannequin. You need to be able to have the control. So the way in which you hold the comb is going to provide you to have that control. But the sharpness of the comb, now we don't want it to be too sharp, but the sharpness of the comb is also going to afford you to be able to part and get that precision sooner than if you're parting with like something that's dull, right? So even though you may be able to part with a paper clip, we need a tool that's going to help us like get through this faster, because again, your tool will also play into your time, right? So if you have the wrong tool, then it's going to slow up your time and you won't be able to make as much money, right? You won't be able to take as many clients within a day. So that's why your tool is going to be important. So I was just saying that I'm not trying to plug my products, but we do sell these. How about and end of the comb. The end of the comb is cool, but it's not necessarily as important, because I'll show it when I get into it, like what the purpose of the end of the comb. But this is really for the precision parts, okay? So in your flat twist, so we're gonna get into the flat twist. If we can go to the full screen of the slide, and your flat twist should have definition, precision, and creativity. So let me get this ready for y'all. Let me know how good we can see that once we're able to get on. Are we good? All right, coolio. All right, just let me know when we back. All right, we can go full screen. Please and thank you. All right, so you guys won't be able to see my face, but hopefully you'll be able to see my hands. So we're just gonna get into parting. And so let's get this thing in focus. All right, so when we part, number one, the angle in which you hold your comb is important. Now, I always tell people you need to hold your comb like a pencil. Why? Because we're artists, and we're essentially drawing on our client's head. So, we got a little bit of we're drawing a little bit. And so having the comb in the proper position, which we don't want to be too high up, and we also don't want to be too far down because we'll lose that control. So it's just, somewhere right in there to where we know we have the control. So these two fingers are anchoring really well. So you might want to even go get a pencil or even a comb if you can, and just ask yourself, okay, how do I normally hold it? Because that's going to determine how well your parts are. So when we get into the parting, depending on like which direction we're trying to go, obviously there's creative parting, there's straight back parts, there's all different types of parting. But right now we're just talking about just the precision in and of itself. And so in order to get that precision, remember, this is a mannequin head. So mannequin heads don't necessarily part as good, obviously, as like a real head, because it's less dense. So, hairs be all over the place. But I'm going to just do like an angled part, and I'm going to bring it down and around the ear and just taper it back. And a lot of times what I find with hairstylists is that they lose track of how much hair is in the back of the head, and then they don't make room for this. And so you have to narrow these parts out when you get to the back, because otherwise you'll have clients with braids falling off way over here. It's like, why is a braid ending at the ear? And it's only because like they did not properly proportion and get ready to come on down there. So we're just going to go ahead and just get into this part right here. So if you notice how I'm holding this comb, and you also want to make sure that your client's head is tilted to where it makes it easier for you to get to that parting. So let me just see if I can turn a little bit better. Is that better? Y'all can see pretty good. You can hear me pretty good. All right. So when I'm parting, typically I'm passing through maybe now her hair is a little out of control. I ain't gonna lie. I'm fighting it a little bit. But I'm not taking a million times. And so sometimes I find that stylists they're just over parting, like because of this perfectionism type of like I just want to make sure that it's perfect. And the thing is like if we aim for perfection, what happens is we tend to just overwork, and then now we're taking too much time because we're trying to be perfectionists. What we always need to do is make sure that we are aiming for just excellence, right? We always want to just execute with excellence and not necessarily perfection, because perfection will have you just staying there for forever. Now, I should have blow dried her hair. I knew her hair wasn't ready. So now what I'm doing is I'm giving her like a little bit of a swoop. So as I'm angling down, I know that I want her to have more of a pointed tapered part, because I don't want the block part. So there's a difference between like a block part to where it's just like coming straight off the scalp, like almost a straight back, where it's wider, versus more of a taper where it starts off very skinny. So I'm just kind of going right along that hairline and I'm parting it down, and then I'm angling right around that ear, and then I'm just going to taper it back a little bit. Now, obviously, if you're getting into more of like a zigzag part, or if you're getting into, a different type of part, that would require you to do some different maneuvering. So you want to have the proper tool, you want to have the proper body position, and you tell the part where to go. And so sometimes what I find is that hairstylists, they're somewhere where they can't see, or they're somewhere where like they can't really move the comb the way they need to, and that takes away from the ability to part properly. So now we're just going to get into a little bit of braid integrity. So I'm going to apply a little bit of product on her hair, and the application of product allows for you to have a better grip. It's also going to allow for you to just have a better finesse. Like you're going to get some shine on it, and you're just going to have way more detail, because the thing is, it's all about being intentional when you braid. When you do hairstyling, you don't want to just haphazardly just be picking up hair wherever you want to pick it up. Like you have to think through the process, right? And so as I begin to braid, because this piece is so small, right? This is such a small piece, but because it's tapered, it has to be small. So I don't want to, because this is what happens. I see hairstyles, they'll start braiding, and the braid won't even start until way back here. You know, like you'll see a whole bunch of hair, and then the braid will start there. And it's only because they probably took way too much hair to start with. But because I'm trying to get detail, I need to start right where that hair is at. I need to start right where that hair is at. And I'm taking my time with my revolutions, right? So I'm not moving down the braid too fast. When we start moving too fast, not necessarily in the speed, but we're grabbing way too much hair. And when we grab too much hair, it makes the braid look like it's dragging, right? It's just, it has a drag to it. So I want to make sure that when we braid, we're just picking up the hair that we need in the moment. Because I always say this, you don't want no hair missing the bus, right? And what that means is you can sometimes move so fast down the braid that you miss hair, or you pick the hair up too early. And that takes away from the integrity of the braid. And so you'll see the braid as it forms in a second. Hold on, let me cut that corner a little bit more smoother. So what you really want is you want that hair to come in very succinctly, because sometimes we think that it's our parts that are off, when really it's because you didn't pick up the right hair at the right time. And so it looks like the braid is dragging. It looks like the hairs are not going in at the right time. And so again, you want to braid with intention and precision. So if you do too many revolutions, and what a revolution is, every time I cut, I'm doing a revolution, right? That's a revolution. So every time I cut, that's actually creating a new dimension of the braid. But if you do too many revolutions at one time, you're making the braid look bunchy. So again, if you do too little revolutions, it's going to be very lagging. It's going to be dragging. But if you do too many, it's going to be bunched up. And so when we think about braid integrity, we're looking at like the quality of the braid. Are the revolutions going at the same time? Are we grabbing too many hairs, or are the sections all equal? Because if your sections are unequal, you're going to have like a lopsidedness to your braid. The braids are not necessarily going to have like that quality and that characteristic. So I'm going to bring another mannequin on just so you can understand. So I recreated my signature style on this mannequin, and I even gave her the earring, but she had no hole in her ear, so I just put it in her hair real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just to give it a little look. But so you can see, like, so on a style like this, you might look at it and be like, I don't even know where to start. Like, how do I even begin to? It's okay. I'll just tilt it back. How do I even begin to get like this look? Where do I start on this style? And so these are the type of things that we teach in, all the things that we be doing, like in the hands-on training and in our courses. And so you have to understand that you want to start and get that detail. But if you see how these braids are like just angling and they're very narrow and then they widen out, and then these inner braids, they're not going all the way to the hairline. They're starting in between the hairline, because you never really want to start a braid so thin unless it's just a whole thin style. But like this Biggie Smalls look, you always want to have that braid on the inside as opposed to the outside. So that's how we pretty much execute that. So just remember that you always want to have the equal amount of hair in each braid. And then we also want to make sure that we're not grabbing too much hair at one time. And now we want to get into these flat twists. All right. So when it comes to flat twists, I just took one out so you can notice her hair. Granted, again, it's a mannequin, so you can see that it's a flat twist, but the way that it's laying, it's not like too poofy, right? And so what I find is that a lot of hairstyles, they'll do their flat twist, but they don't have that definition. And so it has to do with the way that you prep the hair. It has to do with the products that you use. All of these play a part in the definition and the finesse of your flat twist. So I took one out, and we'll just go over this technique a little bit. I'm going to just comb this hair out because it's essential that you're working with hair that's prepped really well. Sometimes I remember when I used to braid hair, before I really got into like washing my clients' hair and blow drying it and making sure that it was prepped, I was fighting, y'all. I was fighting through hair that it needed a hot comb. And so now I understand how to properly prep the hair, right? And that's really important. So let's get into this flat twist. So I just took out one in the middle. So when you're flat twisting, and we're doing two flat twists, right? I mean, 2-strand flat twist. So it's not just a rollover flat twist, it's a 2-strand flat twist. And now what we do is we take those two pieces and we're cutting in between, and we just rolling it over, y'all. Rolling it over. Y'all see pretty good. Let's see if my fingers, if I need to turn. Let me see if I go that way. Okay, y'all just got to catch it. You know what I'm saying? You got to catch it. All right, so my body positioning is important as I am doing even this curve. So you notice on the braid, I was just going down and around the ear, but on this flat twist, I'm coming down from like the more center of her forehead down into like a dip, and then I got to bring it back up. So when you're doing a style like that, you have to position. You yourself as a stylist need to reposition yourself. You got to get in position. You got to get information. Okay. So notice how nice this I'm about to say cornrow. This flat twist is laying. You say it's laying, huh? The tension, the technique. You have to have the proper tension, because again, if your hands are overly tight and you're just gripping so hard, what you're doing is you're passing tension down from your shoulders, because in order to grip that hard, it's got to come from a source, right? So then we wonder why we're so sore, stylists, and why we're going through all of this aches and pains is because we didn't realize that we were just gripping too hard. All right, so we just cutting all the way through. And we're bringing it up. Now notice when I brought it up, I'm angling back. So I'm just going to turn her head. But what I need to do is I need to reposition myself so that I can bring it back into the proper perspective. All the way back into the proper perspective. All right, so that is how we got that flat twist in there. So you can see, and so some stylists are like, okay, well, when I do my flat twist and they go all the way down to the scalp, like something's lifting. Like, why is it lifting? And so there's a lot of techniques that I cannot completely get into today, but I wanted to give you the foundation of how to get your flat twist so it can lay like a cornrow. They should be laying nicely within that section to make sure that that it's not like laying over to where you can't see the detail of the actual style. The detail of the actual style. Slide. Yeah. All right, so real quick, y'all. So once you master these techniques, you'll be an in-demand stylist. And I'm telling you, this is no type of hype. The reality is everything is based on the foundation. And so I want to explain to you the process of how you're going to be able to attract never-ending a stream of high-paying clients. How I was able to do it and how you should be able to do it as well. So let's get into that. How can we attract it? So if you feel confident enough to take what I've just shown you really quick, and go do what you need to do. Listen, run with it. Okay. Do what you got to do. I really want you to be able to take what you've learned. There could have been just one simple thing. It's like, oh, that's what I'm doing. That's not necessarily right. I want you to be able to run with it. So make sure you do that. But the bottom line is you cannot skip the process if you want to do anything, right? There's a process that you got to go through, right? If you want to become a doctor, we got to go to med school. Like, we got to get the proper training. And if you want to become a wealthy natural hairstylist, there's just proper techniques that you have to learn. And that's just, we can't circumvent, like, we cannot skip that process, right? So I would like to help you shorten your learning curve. This is what I would like to do. Not as long as it took me, right? It took me 20 years. But just in a few weeks, I believe that there's certain things that I can help you get into if you just stick around. So I want to give you that opportunity today. So let's just take a look at this opportunity. So we have our creative styling course. It is a 6-month course it's a course and a 6-month mentorship. It's a mentorship. So we're gonna hold your hand. And together we are going to start the very beginning. We're going to go through 63 different hairstyles. And I'm going to teach you the timeless foundational building blocks of healthy natural hair. These are unbreakable rules that will make your client trust you. And they're going to be able to appreciate your value, your knowledge, your expertise. I'm going to walk you through the ins and outs, deciding whether it's time for you to do a trim, a treatment. Your clients are going to be able to trust you in assisting them with their natural hair. Once you complete these first foundational modules, you'll be set for the foundations of having a happy client and even better hairstyles, right? Styles that are amazing, and healthy hair is even, like, obviously beyond like the hairstyles, like it's priceless. So that's the first module. And module 3 through 8, we're going to dive deep into the art of precision parting, like what we just did today in the training, but obviously we're going to go way more in depth. We only had so much time, right? And I want y'all to get back to your family. So we're going to go deep into precision parting and how to get those parts to create the actual style, so we can get more into like the creativity of things. So I'm going to be able to go over deeper holding the comb, how to get the symmetry, which symmetry means how do you mirror one side to the next? Like sometimes there's a style that's just like very symmetrical and you may not be like, okay, how do I get the symmetry? So we're going to go into the symmetry of parting, establishing the middle part, symmetry and mirroring, same thing. and how to get into compartments. And let me just talk about compartments. Compartments speak to, like, sometimes we don't know how to get creative, but when you break it down into, another word for compartments would just be like sections. Like you can learn how to get creative within a section and then, do something different. So it'll also bring into just that intricacy of a hairstyle. Because if you looked at a lot of our hairstyles, though they look intricate, they're actually a little bit more simplified if you look at it. Some of it's just an illusion. Some of it's just an illusion. So I'm going to teach you in module 9 through 18 the ins and outs of braiding. We're going to dive deep into the tension and the timing. You're going to get the cornrows, the stitch braids, the braided updos, box braids, the knotless braids, all of that. And then when we get to 19 through 27, we are going to get into the twisting. And so if you see this picture off to the side, she has braids on one side, but then she has two strand twists that are hanging on the opposite side. And so we're going to get into comb twist, two strand twist, finger twist, perfecting flat twist, and a lot more. And then when we get to module 28 through 33, we're going to get more into executing locks step by step, interlocking, cutting locks, lock styling, and all of that. We can get to the next. And then 34 through 46, you're going to learn the braided updos. And this is, I don't even know how many braided updos we have in there, but literally step by step, you're going to see if a client was to come in with their hair shampoo, washed, ready to go, like, how do I start? Right? So we have start to finish hairstyles that take you step by step to execute, and you can go and now take that hairstyle and replicate it or recreate it and put your twist on it. Now, next is module 47 through 51, where we get into the flat twist updo. So we'll get into how to get creative with those flat twists. And then 52 through 57, we're going to get into the women's lock styles. These women lock styles right here, those buns are super cute. And module 58 through 64, we're going to get into some men's lock styles. And so this is something that I'm telling you, it's a complete package. It's what I wish I had when I first got started. I'm gonna be honest with you. So then we're going to get into some men's cornrows. And then the next module is wedding hairstyles, because, wedding hairstyles are a little bit different than just an everyday natural hairstyle. So you have clients that are coming in and they want to get their hair done for their wedding. How are you going to have some ideas for that? So we have those ideas for you to learn that. And then we're going to finish it off with some children's hairstyles that you can be able to put your twist on it, make your own combination. So we're going to give you over 70 in-depth tutorials, speed techniques, intro to natural hair, braiding, stitch braids, knotless braids, twisting, locking, the art of precision parting, product knowledge, box braids, braid integrity. I mean, everything I just mentioned: women's lock styles, men lock styles, wedding cornrows, wedding styles, and children's styles, and a lot more. And then that's not everything. I got something else. We're also going to hold your hand. Right, we're gonna walk you through this mentorship. So not only do you have the pre-recorded tutorials, you're also going to be able to join our master classes, where we're going to be teaching you, and you can ask us questions directly. Okay, what product did you use? How do I hold my hand? Or how do I hold my hand for this? Or you're going to be able to ask live Q&A. So just like we're here right here, we're going to have a live model, and you're going to be able to go through that whole training with us, so you can have your questions answered in real time. And then you're also going to be able to get review and feedback as well in that mentorship. And then we have our community, and our community is a page where all the stylists are able to come in, and they're able to post their work, get the encouragement that they need, support, sisterhood, sharing tips. You can submit your photos. And then if anybody knows anything about me, I'm going to give you a word of encouragement, because that's just who I am. That's who God has made me to be. So I'm going to love for you to be a part of this program, so we can not just give you the techniques, right, but also help boost your confidence. Because again, it's the confidence, it's the competence, and then it's the compensation. When you know what you're doing, your confidence is boosted. And when your confidence is boosted, you feel good to post your work. You feel good to charge what you're worth. You feel good to even promote yourself and go to events and tell people, I do hair. I can't tell you how many stylists don't feel comfortable doing that because they don't quite believe in themselves. And so when you have this mentorship, you're not only going to hear from me, but there's other stylists from all over that are going to be able to encourage and empower you as well. So let me just show you some stylist reviews real quick.
Added hair. I've been struggling with that technique for a long time, so that was something I was really looking forward to learning today.
The highlight was today that I have the skill, I just need to learn how to practice and be more confident in myself. I definitely realized that it's all about repetition and not being given up so easily. I'm a new business owner myself, so other than that, I just wanted to be able to connect with people to understand the same struggles so we can build each other in the industry.
Biggest thing I took away was the braiding pattern and technique, how to do a proper Enroll, pretty much how to relieve the tension so that you can prevent hand issues and how to do proper technique.
It's always better when you have someone in rare form that you can learn from, where they can stop you and correct you as you're doing the technique.
She's really down to earth, and you kind of get that from watching the video. It's really helpful.
That I came and I learned so much stuff, and Essence is amazing and Adelaide is amazing, and it was just a nice experience.
Adelaide was very helpful and very, very attentive. She kind of stayed right there to make sure that we were mastering the techniques that they were showing. Her and Essence just kind of bounced off of each other, and they were a great team.
I feel like everyone should take the class. If you're interested, if you are passionate about doing hair, if you feel like you have some things that you're really good at but you want a little bit more technique, I suggest you take the class for sure.
I recommend anybody from anywhere. If she's doing pop-up shops in your hometown, please go and attend. If not, she has an online academy. I think all of her work is great and you will learn a lot if you're serious about doing hairstyles.
More. All right, y'all, and just a couple more written testimonials. I'm glad I invested in your online class years ago. It changed my natural hairstyling techniques. It's time. I think it's time for me to sign up for the membership. She said, I want to come back. Okay. Another person, Lisa, said, thanks for those gems, Miss Essence. For those who are thinking about taking her course, do not hesitate. Invest in yourself. The class is amazing, very detailed and professional. I've been a hairstylist in Maryland for 25 years. Saw this class a few years back, and I'm kicking myself for not taking it sooner. I learned so many techniques and ideas to implement. I'm blown away. I couldn't braid to save my soul. She said it worked for her. And after Rare Essence Academy, I can braid in caps, okay? And it looks good, period. Crown of Love, my parts and my twisting ability. Fire. The style is beautiful. Y'all are the best of the best. One of the best investments I've ever made. Joy says, glad I am a member, worth every penny. Styles by Free says, this post is everything. You've always been an inspiration to me. I took your online classes and my natural styles went to a whole nother level. This post resonates with me so much. I too shifted. New season, new assignment. Congrats on your success. Real life, real people, y'all. All right, so fact number one. Today I have shown you the proper techniques to execute 3 natural hairstyling techniques in a short time frame. You've seen that it's entirely possible to pursue a full-time career as a natural hairstylist with the proper knowledge and skills. And you've also seen that you can follow step-by-step the formal training in natural hairstyling to support yourself and your family and become a wealthy and successful stylist right now. So if you are ready to get started, class it's already moving. Like we already here, but we're ready for you to jump on a train as well. Your first set of lessons would already be in the portal waiting for you. And so you can get started today if you like. Your only job is to watch the videos, take notes, really pay attention, and follow along with me as I coach you step by step, learning the proper techniques and build your confidence. So it's really just about paying attention and then applying. Somebody say attention and then apply. Like I just got to pay attention and then I got to apply. That's it. There's a stylist in my salon right now who, when she came, she almost, I'm going to bring her in the studio one day, but she knew almost absolutely nothing. And she studied. And I mean, she's surpassing some of the stylists who really been doing hair. And it's only because of the amount of attention that she paid to it. And then she would come to the salon and she would apply it right away. And people are like, girl, like you just growing out of nowhere. And she's like, girl, I've been watching the academy. Okay. So if you're ready to get started, next slide, please. By the time you've completed the styling course and the 6-month mentorship, you will be a successful, confident, natural hairstylist, attracting a flood of high-paying clients, not just some clients that's trying to get a discount. Okay, high-paying clients, because when your work starts speaking excellence, clients are going to have to recognize, right? They're going to have to recognize, and they're going to have to pay what it is that you're asking for, because you know you've invested in yourself. So what about the price? Essence, how much is it? Tell me, please, how much is it? All right, well, let's say this really quick now. Don't get scared by this. Don't get scared. The total value, we're talking about the value, because I know what we bring to the table. The total value of this training is worth over $11,997. But if I get this, hold on. But I give this a program away. I give this a program away. That's what it is, Lord. We sell this course at $997. Normally, we sell it at $997, right? And if that sounds too expensive, or if that sounds expensive, keep this in mind. It could take you years. I ain't gonna lie. It could take you years of trying to figure it out, trial and error. But this creative styling course is going to teach you the proper techniques, not just any techniques, the proper techniques to get the results that I know you desire in just a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost. And it'll be a skill set that not only can you, like, you can braid whenever you want to. You can be 90 years old. Like, listen, sit on this porch. Let me. When you learn the skill, nobody can take it from you. And you'll always be like, if I decided, I haven't been doing hair in 5 years now, but if I decided, like, you know what, I need to go make me some side money, I can go and reuse this skill, right? Because I know somebody wants their hair done. So by the fact that you're still here and you're watching, it means that you're actually serious about your success. And so this is what I want to do for you. This is what I want to do. I want to take off $300 out of my pocket for each and every one of you and invest that into your future of success right now. So what does that mean? That means instead of it being $997, it'll be $697, a one-time $697 payment. And if you put that into perspective, you just see me execute those techniques, but not just the techniques. You're going to be able to learn how to create hairstyles, start to finish. So would you invest $697 to get that ability today? Would you invest that? With that being said, this is a Black Friday offer, and I will not be offering this price after midnight of the 25th of November. And it's only because the reality is the stylists who I've seen invest in themselves, and this is to be honest, I've traveled, I've met a lot of stylists, and it's the ones who make the investments are the ones who I see succeed, the ones who I see. One second, y'all. But it's okay. I'm going to keep on going. You can just click the side. The decisiveness is a trait that should be shared by all natural hairstylists. And simply put, you cannot become a confident and wealthy natural hairstylist sitting on the fence. And so I want you to get off the fence and just say, you know what? I'm ready to go towards my future. So your discount today will be $300 off. It will not be available after Black Friday, and that expires 11/59, Friday the 25th. And really quick, if you want to get started, here's how you get started. Click the button that has just appeared in the chat, fill out that registration form, and you will be sent an email with your login accounts and access to the course. Claim this discount now. You can go to rareessenceprogram.com. rareessenceprogram.com. So real recap, when you join the Creative Styling course, you will get the course, over 70 in-depth tutorials going over all of these techniques. You are also going to get, and all these styles, men's cornrows, flat twist styles, go back for me real quick, men's cornrows, flat twist styles, braided up do's, women's lock styles, two-strand twists, two-strand styles, men's lock styles. This is what you're going to get. And you're going to get the 6-month mentorship. Mentorship is everything. It's one thing to watch a tutorial. It's another thing to be able to be live in a class, live in a chat, live in a group, and be able to have that actual communication where I can answer your questions. And then you're going to get the community. look, we need each other to survive. So the community is great. Jump in the chat. You may find other stylists that are in your city that you can start linking up with, and just learning from one another as well. So the community is key. So we got the course, we got the community, and we got the mentorship all in one. And even though I could easily just be like, I need school to it. You know how much cosmetology schools cost? When I was about to change the law, that they were saying it was going to be $10,000+ to go to school for over a year and a half to learn things that I didn't even know how. Like I wasn't even going to ever do. I wasn't doing cuts. I wasn't doing color. I was trying to learn how to braid, and I would have been glad to pay that price if they were going to teach me what I needed to learn. But I'm not even charging nowhere near that. As a matter of fact, I'm taking a discount off of what we normally charge, like what we normally, sell it for, and we're gonna take an additional $300. So again, it's gonna be $697. Claim your discount so we can get started, so you can kick off this new year and for it to be a new you, and you can start attracting the clientele that you know that you can have and that you can execute well on. And you're just gonna be, you will have satisfied clients, satisfied. So big facts. There are huge opportunities in the natural hairstyling industry right now. You also know that you have seen me execute these techniques, and so you have an idea that Essence can teach me, right? You also know that it's clear that the creative styling course and mentorship will show you exactly how to create the 70+ hairstyles and level up your skills and for you to become a successful natural hairstylist. I just want to thank you very much. If you are ready to get started, make sure you click the link in the bio. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I had a great time with you all, and I look forward to meeting you all, and we can have we can break bread. We can have communion. So thank you all. Have an amazing night, and I hope to see you on the inside. Peace.